So within the first year, I sort of made like 30K profit of it. And it was a short-term thinking. I wasn't really educated. Didn't knew much about property, finance, any of that stuff. And short-term thinking, I decided to sell it. And I was in a fixed rate interest at the time. I actually ended up paying 20K break fee to the bank.
This is Property Investory, where we talk to successful property investors, find out more about their stories, mindset, and strategy. I'm Taran Shah, and in this episode, we're talking to Jazz Sidana, an IT professional who was looking to purchase a family home in Melbourne, and instead create a portfolio of 6 properties and is showing no signs of slowing down. As a family man, Sidana tells us about his activities in a busy day of life.
I currently work in IT for a big retail corporation, and I've been with the same company for the last 10 years now. And so I look after a team of developers, so as a development manager over there. Man, the day honestly for me is pretty busy. I mean, my job is basically 9 to 5. The good thing is I don't live that far from work, so it's only 10 minutes walk. And it's a 9 to 5 job. As such, I don't have to be there at 9 or finish at 5. It's flexible hours, but that's the sort of a framework. Outside that, I've got a family with 2 kids, 2 boys. Just that keeps me busy. And my other passion is property and finance. So I spend most of my time reading about the financial news and what's happening in the world of property and investing in general.
Originally born overseas, Sidana completed his master's when he moved to Australia.
I basically am from North India, a city called Ludhiana, and I studied in the local school over there. It was one of the good schools over there, English-speaking school, and my whole family is in the same town, and I'm the only one actually who decided to leave the country. My father was a businessman back there, and I just wasn't. I was a bit of more of a person who likes to experiment stuff and try new things, and I wanna go out and study somewhere outside India, and I happened to pick Australia at the time because few of my friends were here, and just came here for my master's. Basically, I did my bachelor's from my hometown over there, and then decided to do my master's here.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a good excuse to say to your parents, Dad, Mum, I'm going overseas to study.
Yeah, it's actually funny. I've got we have 5 siblings, and I'm the youngest one. I've got 4 sisters, and my father made all this effort into sperming a boy, and I decided to leave the country after that.
I wonder what he must have said about that.
I don't think he's very happy with that.
Sidana tells us more about his family in India and his father's business.
He's more or less retired now, but back home, he had a manufacturing unit. He used to manufacture paper and supply it to the local suppliers over there. He actually suffered a fair bit of loss from that in the later years, and decided to shut it down completely. And sisters are married. They're all pretty they're all pretty wealthy over there. So they're living their life.
With so many occupations and countries to choose from, why IT? Why Australia?
The bachelor's that I did was in IT. I mean, honestly, I didn't have a clue of what I wanted to do, but Dad sort of knew at the time, and he was like, "Get into IT. It's the more upcoming thing." And I was like, "No, I want to do accounting." He sort of forced me into it, and it actually is good that I got into it because I actually really enjoyed doing it all this time. So for the last 10-15 years I've been into the same area, and it's been and it's one of the more disruptive technologies out there. So it's been pretty. I've been enjoying that part quite a lot. At the time I was looking at America, Canada, and Australia, and I said I didn't know many people anyways. I said all my family is back home, and it's just I had 2 or 3 friends over here in Australia, so I was like I knew someone over here at least if in case I really need some help. that I can ring someone. So that was the reason I picked Australia up at the time, to be honest. But it worked out pretty well. I mean, I've enjoyed this country. I absolutely love it. Melbourne is a great city. I moved to Gold Coast about 7 years ago, but it was too late back for me, so I decided to come back to Melbourne.
After becoming an Australian citizen, Sidana found a steady job in IT and settled down in Melbourne with his wife.
I came to Australia when I was 22 on a student visa, and I was here for 2 years doing my master's in IT. And and from there I applied for my citizenship over here. So I think I was 25 or 26 when I got my citizenship. And then started looking for jobs in IT. So I finally found the company that I was looking for, and been with them for the last 10 years, really. My whole family is back home, still in India, but I'm married to the girl I'm married to. She's a citizen over here as well. So she's been here for the last, she came here before me. I think she's been here for the last 15 years now. And we just met at a call center that I used to work, and sort of it kicked in from there. So I've got two boys, 3 and 5 months old. So so it's I'm a family man now. All the late night hangouts are gone.
The influence to begin property investing came from the desire to own a family home. However, being uneducated in property investing at the time didn't sit well for Sidana.
Actually, I don't think I'm one of those people who gets influenced very quickly. I actually just naturally happened to got into it. I was looking, I used to live in Windsor, which is an inner city area in Melbourne, and I was renting over there, and I was planning to get married, so I started looking for houses, and I couldn't afford anything in that area, so I had to go 45 kilometers out in the outer suburbs towards the southeast. And I bought my first block of land over there to build my own house. And that was where sort of the journey started from. But I sold that block of land within the first year of buying, because I think it was in 2007 when I bought it, and the property market was pretty hot at the time. So within the first year, I sort of made like 30K profit of it. And it was a short-term thinking. I wasn't really educated. I didn't know much about property, finance, any of that stuff. And short-term thinking, I decided to sell it. And I was in a fixed rate interest at the time. I actually ended up paying 20K break fee to the bank.
Oh no! Wow.
So I made a 10K profit, which I was still pretty happy with after all the cost. I'm saying, I made a 10K profit. But in hindsight, if I look back, I mean, if I was educated at the time, I would have never done that. I would have still kept that, because it's 3 times worth the money now.
Prior to finding work in IT and beginning his property investing journey, he undertook several different jobs. This was a challenge, as he was limited working a certain number of hours per week while on a student visa.
During my student visa, as I was studying, because we were only allowed to work part-time, 20 hours a week kind of thing. So it was hard to find sort of professional jobs at the time. Plus, I didn't have any qualification in hand or experience. So at the time, I used to work in a call center in CBD. And that worked out pretty well for me. That was, I think it was inbound and outbound call center. So that was the job that I used to do. And I also did security for a little while just to pay off my bills kind of thing.
Having purchased his first property and sold it, Sidana searched to find another home to live in. He located one in close proximity to the first house, and then eventually drew equity from that to buy another investment property.
I looked at a few houses first, and I was like, I don't really like the floor plan for any of them. And I, to be honest, didn't even knew what I wanted at the time. And I was like, I'm going to build my own. And I bought this block of land with it had view to the mountains and all. So it was a good block, 700 square meter. And these days it is big. At the time, back 7 years ago, it wasn't really 7 or 8. So especially in the outer suburbs. I bought that block of land thinking that I'm going to put my own house on it. But then, as said, it was a short-term thinking at the time. I was making that 10 grand profit after all the expenses. Like, let's sell it and we'll buy something again. So, because I didn't know much about property at all. So I decided to sell it. And then I bought a house in suburb next door, a small house, but on a similar size block, 700 square meter block, which I still hold to date. It's rented out, and that was my principal place of residence, and I lived over there for roughly 3 or 4 years before before buying a bigger place to live in. But in the meantime, I did bought another investment property. Because I had made that equity, because 2007, 2008 was when the property prices were going up. So I was able to pull equity out once again to buy another one. So that's how sort of it got started after that.
Since the beginning of his investment journey, Sidana's properties have almost doubled in value and has accumulated to 6 properties in his portfolio.
The block that I bought was for 175 and I sold it for, I think it was around 210 at the time. And after all the expenses, I said I made roughly about 10K profit. And then I went into buy my house. That was my principal place of residence at the time. And I bought that for 287 and I still hold it today, and it's doubled in value pretty much. So it's roughly around 580, 570, 580, anywhere between 570 to 600 at the moment. So yeah, so that's done pretty well. So within the first year of buying it, the property prices sort of, again, at the time, prices were going up. So I was able to pull equity out once again. And I bought another one within the same area, which was a corner block, 550 square meters this time, with a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom house. And I still hold that as well today, and it's rented out. And that was for 307 I bought it for at the time. And today it's probably worth, again, around the similar price, somewhere between 550 to 600. So at this point in time, it's 6 actually. I mean, number doesn't really mean anything. Roughly, the whole portfolio is roughly about 3.2 to 3.5 mil. And it's in terms of gearing, I'm sort of 60 to 65% geared. So I do hold enough equity over there, basically. If I take into consideration the actual tax that I get back, it's actually sort of a little bit positively geared at the moment. It will probably leave roughly around 10,000 in my pocket every year, sort of thing.
With many people rent vesting, it's a cost-effective alternative while acquiring wealth through property investing.
I'm renting my own place now, so all the investment properties are obviously rented out, and the place that I'm living in, which is sort of closer to the city and work, I'm renting that place. For me, it has worked out very well because, as I said, I only live within 10 minutes walking distance to work, and I actually used to hold 2 cars, and I actually sold one of them because I didn't need it anymore, and my wife was on maternity leave. So that's straight away a saving of $1,000. And then the other property that was my principal place of residence is now rented out, so that's tax deductible as well. So if I actually truly do the numbers, I end up being better off renting right now than living in my own house. And plus, I'm closer to the city, so if I want to go and watch a match in the stadium, MCG or whatever, or if just hang out in the city with the friends, it's like literally takes me 10 minutes. And Uber these days is pretty cheap, so you can catch that easily to the city. So,
although he had a positive outcome with his property investments overall, he still regrets selling the first property he purchased. He owns that education was the key to unlocking the benefits in his journey.
In all honesty, really, I don't have a worst movement as such. But if, in hindsight, if I was to look back, that block of land that I sold was a silly thing that I did at the time. I could have actually put a house on it and rented even that out, and that would have done pretty well. I would have been sitting on roughly a 4 mil portfolio right now with 55% gear or whatever, or 60% gearing. That was sort of the mistake in hindsight. If I look back, that's the mistake that I made. But as such, if there was a worse movement that I had, not really. I mean, once I got started into it, I learned pretty quickly that education was the key to it, which if I look back, if I could have started that even earlier, would have been better for me. But I was new to the country, so there was a lot to learn at the time.
Sidana's aha moment occurred gradually by educating himself about property and the workings of the market.
It's not something of a revolution that happened, but as I kept myself educating by reading magazines or Financial Review newspaper or Sky Business Channel, all of that, it's sort of an evolution that I had over time where I got to a point where I was like, I can now sort of start even predicting what the next move with the interest rates is going to be and all of that. So like with my portfolio, what I did was when the interest rates were at rock bottom, I pretty much fixed 80% of the portfolio. And since then the rates have only gone up. So it's really been educating myself all this time and understanding, and now I think I'm fairly comfortable with predicting where after reading all the stuff based on what economists are writing and everything, that I can sort of make informed decisions of what's going to happen next. So that's the best guess kind of thing. So I think it's more of an evolution thing that happened over the time. As such, it wasn't an aha moment. I think it's more important for people to understand that property is important. Obviously, location is important. The kind of property that you buy in the area is important. But what's more important than that is understanding the finance, setting up the structures right, understanding the interest rates. When you're dealing at, if you have got one property, it doesn't really matter that much. But once you have got couple under your belt, that becomes very important, and setting those structures up right is very important if you want to keep growing in that space, essentially.
With this in mind, Sidana's exciting goal is to continue building his property portfolio and attain the financial freedom to be able to do what he likes.
In my head, it was that I wanted to achieve a 10 million portfolio, which from there I can pretty much I'm not the kind of person who will ever retire. I really do like working, but I want to be in that position where I've got a 10 million worth of portfolio, which is 50% or 40% geared, and it leaves enough in the pocket, and I can spend time on the things that I actually enjoy, which is really helping people in property and finance sort of things, which is I've been doing that a lot with my friends and everything. So it's freeing up my time to do the stuff that I want is the goal, essentially. I don't think I'll ever stop. I think I'll keep always investing. Doesn't matter what the newspapers say. I've stopped reading the newspapers completely now. I think it's important to educate yourself, and I'm not after the money. I'm just after the freedom, so I can get to do what I want, spend time with the family, travel around, all of that.
Since the beginning of his property journey, his mindset has also shifted.
Yeah, actually, the mindset has changed completely. When I started, I said I bought a block of land, hoping that I'll build my house on it, and then it will take me rest 30 years to pay it off. But in reality, after selling that block and buying the next house, within the first 3 to 4 years, I was able to bring debt fair bit down by just sort of putting money into it constantly and spending less on traveling and all. Although I used to travel a fair bit, but still relatively I could have done more traveling, but I decided to pay off my house quicker. And that I was able to bring the debt down pretty quickly. And from there, it was like, oh yeah, the debt's gone down, equity's gone up, so let's go and reinvest in that space.
But in these challenging times when properties are worth about $1 million on average, how do you pay off such a large debt?
Compounding is genuinely the eighth wonder of the world, and it does work very well. If you start paying off your house quickly, and if the price keeps going up, I mean, $1 million, its property is never going to be easy to buy. Australia is a very sought after place. Population is growing constantly, so it's a dream if you think that the property prices are going to crash, or that property is going to be affordable, or government is going to be able to do something for you. You just need to save for your deposit. However you do that, spend less on travel or spend less on coffee, whatever that is. You just have to save for that deposit and get into it. And from there, it's for the first few years, it will be hard, but it just sort of kicks in after that. Honestly, it's not that complicated. It's just knowing your numbers and making sure that you truly stick to them and don't spend too much money on everything else. Just try and save a little bit. And if you already have a house, just try and pay off that quicker, or go and reinvest if you've got enough equity already in it. Or otherwise, just try and save money for the deposit. If you're hoping that, there's been stamp duty changes now, and you don't need to pay stamp duty, but you still need to save enough deposit. So it's you just have to do it. No one else is going to do it for you. Unless you've got wealthy parents, then it's easier.
While there is never a set percentage that Sidana sets aside to save for property expenses, he does implement a specific plan to achieve this.
What I've tried to do all this time is, and it holds today true, is that I've always tried to live on one salary, although both of us were earning all the time. but all the expenses we always try to, including the mortgage repayments, we always try to cover up all the expenses out of one person's salary, and then try and save the other. So that's the motto that I've always lived on. That only one person working in the house, not the other. Because my wife currently, as example, is on maternity leave. So the way I've structured my expenses, or the way I set my living standards, is basically that I can live on single income always, essentially, and anything else just goes off towards paying the mortgage. See, the thing is, there's always going to be times in life where either one person is made redundant, or you're on maternity leave, or something else has happened, health issues or whatever, that you're not able to work. So you always want to control your expenses over there and try and live within the means. And if you can do that, if both of you are working, and if one person can at least save the money, that's pretty good. I actually paid off my house last year, and it was like there's far too much equity sitting in, and then I went and bought 2 properties again, interstate this time. So yeah, I think that's the best way of doing it.
One of the best things that have helped Sidana with his property investing journey is following the advice of other successful people.
Success always leaves clues. So find the people who have done it, figure out how they've done it. Internet has made life much easier. There's enough information floating around. There's no reason for anybody to be not able to find the information on the things that they are trying to achieve, or the goals that they have in mind. So as an example, I'm trying to build up a 20 million portfolio or 10 million portfolio. I look at only people who have actually done that, and then try and figure out how they have done it, and try even get in touch with them and see if they can give me any guidance, advice. And there's plenty of ways these days to easily get connected to the people. Use social media, Facebook, LinkedIn. You can easily get in touch with these people. And generally you'll find is the people who are successful, they are willing to give away. So they will share information, they'll share knowledge.
Sidana shares more about the 6 properties he has invested in over the years, which now makes up his expanding portfolio.
So the first 3 are actually located in the within sort of 10 kilometers radius to each other, and that's towards the southeast of Melbourne, which is Berwick. And the first one that I purchased was for 287, and currently it's close to 600 roughly. The second one that I purchased was for 307, and that's close to, conservatively, it's probably close to 570-ish. The third one that I purchased was my principal place of residence, again, a bigger house that I live in. And that was in 2012 that I purchased it. When the market was at rock bottom, I purchased it for 436. Today, it's probably worth 700K. And fourth one that I purchased now, this is the time when I decided to branch out, because I had enough knowledge and I was comfortable to invest in property, that I decided to branch out of the backyard and invest in other suburbs. So I bought in Frankston, which was in 2013, and I purchased that for 340. And today it's again close to, anywhere between 6 to 620 it sits in. That area has actually done really, really well. And it's a decent sized block, backs a golf course. So it had few good wins to it. And the fifth one that I purchased was in Queensland. It's in Springwood, which is about 20 kilometers from the CBD. And that I bought for 415 it was. And then I spent roughly 10K to renovate it. Currently, it's probably worth about 450, 460 after doing the renovations. So the rent on that before renovations was roughly around 370, 380. After renovation, it was about 410 per week. And the last one is actually in Adelaide, which is a house, and it's in Christie's Beach, and that one I bought for 315, and I can actually knock that house down and put 4 units on it if I really want to, but I'm not going to do that straight away, and maybe in another few years once it's gone up a little bit. And plus I've got my wife's on maternity leave. We sort of busy with the family, so I don't want to focus on that stuff right now, but in a few years time I will.
With the potential to either subdivide or add value to most of his properties, he explains how he could go about it.
And most of the purchases that are made are very traditional style purchases, which is house and land kind of thing, but with a very old house and a decent sized block. And majority of them, except number third that I bought, which was again a bigger house that I plan to live in down the line again. All the other ones pretty much can be at some point knocked down and subdivided and put 2 or 3 units on it, depending upon what the council regulations are at the time. It's not a house and land package that I'm buying. It's generally a older house which has got where some improvements can be made, or where the block size is decent enough that can be subdivided, or if I knock it down, I can put multiple units. Like the one that I bought in Queensland recently, it's a corner block. It's right opposite to a school. Regulations over there are changing. Zoning is changing constantly. So I'll be able to, within the next couple of years, I will be able to put at least I can do that today. But today I can put 2 units onto it if I knock the house down, or I can just put a granny flat without knocking the house down. But if I was to knock the house down within 3 or 4 years, I'll actually be able to put 3 units on it, depending upon what the regulations are at the time.
So, what has been the strategy behind Sidana's portfolio, enabling him to be able to achieve what he has so far?
The way it was started was I wanted to build a base portfolio which can from there on grow itself. I was trying to build a base portfolio over there, which is these 6 properties. But when I say the base portfolio, I was being very careful when I was building it that I can actually add some value to it down the line at the same time. And now that that's done, I'm more heading towards, and I've got enough equity sitting in place, I'm more heading towards either buying a block of units where there's 2 or 3 or 4 units in a block that I can buy the whole block, or heading towards development rather than just buy and hold strategy, which is this base portfolio essentially. But even with this base portfolio, I know I can make changes to it and generate equity out of it essentially.
Having such a well thought out strategy, it took a gradual education for Sidana to get to the stage where he could utilize and benefit from it.
I have been constantly listening to all the podcasts that come out, or I'm always on the Sky Business Channel at night. Like I at least spend 2 hours. If I'm not able to, I'll record the shows and watch it over the weekend or whatever for related to property and shares. I'm constantly every day reading Financial Review to see what's happening with the economy. So as said, it's not just the property game, it's also the numbers game, which is where the interest rates are heading, where the economy is heading. So it's important to understand that as well. And I actually genuinely do spend at least an hour a day just catching up with all the stuff that's happening in the economy, with the interest rates, economy, RBA news, if there's any RBA news that are coming out, if there's unemployment or employment news, or the ABS data that's coming out, basically. So all of that, I do spend a lot of time on that, essentially. It's funny, finding the property is not hard. That's the easy part. It's understanding what's happening in the economy, which areas to invest in, where the infrastructure is heading towards. That's more tricky, I think.
To learn more about finance, an important aspect of investing, he sought help from accountants and other trusted experts.
One thing I've been lucky is that my wife, she's a chartered accountant. She's not a tax accountant, she's a chartered accountant. So a little bit I was able to learn from her of how the tax returns are done, what the depreciation schedule is, the basic stuff, and the more advanced stuff, basically setting the structures up, whether the property needs to be cross-collateralized or not, all of that stuff. That was more sitting with few tax accountants out there, or with the people who have not I won't call them mentor, but because I'd never had a mentor, but taking advice from people who have got much bigger portfolios, whether it's 10 million, 20 million, speaking to them, listening to them constantly, and it's putting the right team in place around you, of whether you want to call them mentors, or if you just follow someone in terms of reading news and all, if there's a particular economist, and then having a right bank lending manager or right mortgage broker, which I think is very important actually to have in place, because they should be able to guide you of They should be able to understand your need, what your needs are, where you're trying to head to, and put from the very start, try and put the structure in place accordingly. So for me, I was lucky at the time. The bank that I was dealing with, lending manager was pretty smart. I built up a relationship with him. Then down the line, I found a mortgage broker, a good mortgage broker. So I had built up a relationship with them. I've got a very good relationship with the accountant who's actually in Sydney, and I'm in Melbourne. So I don't look at the same state. Wherever I find the right person, I just go ahead with it. Like my lending manager is sitting in Queensland, my accountant is in Sydney. My all the depreciations that I'm getting done from are basically in Victoria. And for the property valuations and all, I constantly have got agents advising me on that stuff. So it's you really need to build the right team over there, which is the core, and that's also another hard part.
So, what personal habit has contributed to Sidana's success?
Lot of reading, and lot of reading. To be honest, whether it's financial review, whether it's property magazine, money magazines, whatever, or there's different kind of books, what it takes, or think and grow rich, extreme money, that kind of stuff. So that apart from having the right team in place, it's just educate yourself as much as you can.
He would recommend these books and resources to read to gain insight into the strategy that is right for you.
I'm not a big fan of any one book, but I have read few myself, like Mark Burris, What It Takes, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon, Extreme Money by Satyajit Das. So there's quite a few of them. Intelligent Investor, which Warren Buffett always shares about. So they've got a few books. It's just what you need to do is you need to grab few of them and start reading to see what resonates with you, because every person is different. Every person's strategy is different. So try a few different things over there, reading different kind of books. Or different kind of magazines or newspaper, but don't read the gossip newspapers, which is The Age or SMH. They're purely there for gossip. Read some true stuff, and Financial Review is a good paper to read, and some of these books, and then see what really resonates you.
If he were to meet himself 10 years ago, what would he say?
See, the thing is, I migrated to this country, so I didn't have enough knowledge or anyone who could guide me on the path. So it took me a bit of time. Well, first of all, it took me, I was 25, 26 when I got my citizenship. So it wasn't really late when I got started, but still I could have started a bit early, but that wasn't even a choice for me or option for me. So if I knew different sources from where I could educate myself at the time, again, that's the same thing that I'm repeating. I know, broken record I'm sounding like now, but if I could have if I could have found that information before, I would have straight away been on it completely. Like these days, all I do is I don't really care about what area I'm going to buy invest next, or what sort of property I'm going to buy, or what shares I'm going to buy. None of that. All I just try and do is educate myself, predict what's going to happen in the economy next, whether it's with the GDP growth or whether it's with the interest rate or whether it's with the inflation, and see if what I'm guessed over there is right or not. So as said, like I fixed most of my 80% of my portfolio at the time when the rates were at rock bottom. So that was an educated guess that I made. It's always a guess at the end of the day. No one's got a crystal ball, but that was an educated guess that I made, and that worked out pretty well for me. I mean, they're fixed at the lowest rate right now for the next 5 years, so I don't even have to worry about anything.
Yeah, well, you've got yourself set, so you can easily either pay more off and build more equity up, or keep investing, which sounds like that's where you're heading, which is fantastic.
Yeah, now I'm just trying to fast track things a little bit. I said the base portfolio has been laid out. Now I'm just trying to fast track things a little bit now that I've got equity. The challenge that I'm finding right now is making sure that I find if I'm going to go into joint venture projects, I'm trying to find the right like-minded people over there who think alike and who have got a certain goal. And we share our goals over there. So that's the challenging part that I'm facing right now. I've got the equity, I've got the knowledge. It's just finding the right, because with the bigger, as I start doing the bigger deals, it's just going to be that's the challenge that I face now.
This is also what he's most excited about at this point in his property journey, being in the position to invest more and continue the cycle.
It's just the situation that I'm in. I'm pretty happy. Like now I'm a little bit more, I won't say the word relaxed is not the right word, but I'm pretty happy in the in the situation that I am in currently, where my portfolio is 60 to 65% geared, and I've got enough equity over there. My house, as I said, I more or less paid off, but then I decided to take some money out of it and invest more. So I'm pretty happy the situation that I am in right now, and I really just want to fast track things from here. Honestly, and honestly, to all the people who are listening out there, don't procrastinate too much. Just decide that you want to do it. Start educating yourself and set the right team around you. It will just happen. If you find the right like-minded people, or the people who you admire or want to be like, just, as I said, success leaves clue. Just follow them. There's always enough information out there, and it will happen. If you're committed to it, it's going to happen no matter what.
If you'd like to connect with Jas Sidana to find out more about his strategy, you can do so through
anyone who wants to hit me. They can hit me on the Facebook. Basically, my Facebook handle is JAZZ Sidana, SID for Delta, A and for Nelly, A for Apple, Jas Sidana. So you can find me on Facebook, and I'm more than happy to share the knowledge or discuss anything in general if anyone's keen about anything. So.
Thank you to Jas Sidana, our guest on this episode of Property Investory. If you want to hear more about his journey, then visit our website at propertyinvestory.com.